So recently, a federal Canadian government ruled that the invocation by Justin Trudeau of the Emergencies Act back in 2022 was deemed unreasonable and unconstitutional because it infringed on the Charter of Rights and Freedoms of the Canadian people. You see, folks, this is how democracy is supposed to work when legal offices are not stacked with members of the ruling party. Now, this all started back in 2022 when Justin Trudeau, our Prime Minister, decided that he was going to mandate that our truckers, when crossing the border between Canada and the U.S., would have to be vaccinated, and then upon their return, they would have to quarantine. Now, you can just imagine what effect and impact this would have on the Canadian economy. I mean, let's face it, the truckers are the lifeline of any economy. They transport everything you require to maintain your lifestyle, from food, fuel, water, amenities, goods and services of all kinds. So, as a result, a coalition of truckers across Canada decided to organize a Freedom Trucker Convoy and head over to Ottawa to protest these measures. And this movement became so popular around the world that a GoFundMe program was organized, which raised nearly $12 million for the support of these truckers in order to provide fuel, food, water, and lodgings. Once the truckers had reached Ottawa, they decided they wanted to meet with Prime Minister Trudeau in order to start a dialogue to resolve some of these issues. And what did Prime Minister Trudeau do? Well, he decided that he would flat out refuse to meet with them and instead poured fuel on the fire and called these protesters racist and Nazis. Oh yeah, I used the N-word. Now, I'm going to remind people out there that just 2 years earlier, when Canada's economy was being held hostage by the rail network protests, Justin Trudeau was calling for dialogue as a way forward to resolving this protest. And when Trudeau was asked why he was allowing these rail network interruptions to carry on for as long as they did, his response was, and I'm going to read it word for word so I don't get this wrong, he said, "Freedom of expression and peaceful protest are among the most fundamental and cherished rights in a democracy such as Canada, and must be respected and protected." Excuse me, but who are you and what have you done with Trudeau? That is certainly not the Trudeau of 2 years later. Now, fast forward 2 years later, we now have the Trucker Freedom Convoy up in Ottawa, and Trudeau decides he's going to invoke the Emergencies Act in order to deal with it. So he sends in his stormtroopers on horseback, trampling over elderly women protesters, while the neighborly police, all dressed in full body armor, move in as if they were entering the Coliseum, ready to do gladiatorial combat and start hauling away protesters off to jail. No bail, and along the way, a few tap-taps with their billy clubs. And as if that wasn't enough, Trudeau decides that he's going to freeze the bank accounts of hundreds of protesters. Isn't Canada wonderful? Thank heavens we still have intelligent and sensible people with a spine in high places, like Judge Richard Mosley, who used his common sense to see through the mountains of BS on this issue and hand down his ruling against the invocation of the Emergencies Act by Justin Trudeau. You rock, Judge Mosley, and all of Canada thanks you. You may just have saved the country.